Hello, everyday business leaders. You may remember us from Everyday Leaders 50 and 50. We're back. This season, we are in JP the Geek Studios here in Greenwood, Indiana. We're super excited because we are celebrating business leaders and community leaders. And today, we have a very special guest. And today we welcome Lisa Stokes. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So great to have you. I am really excited to introduce you to everybody in the program, especially the community leaders, because you've been in the community for a very long time, elevating businesses, being a part of leadership, lifting people, training people, and understanding just the dynamics of how businesses run. Mm-hmm. So to have you in here and help you just really connect to our audience, you're part of Aspire Johnson County, and you make a big impact in our community. So thanks for coming in today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a passion for connecting people. I've lived here for about 6, almost 7 years, but because I was in the restaurant business, I didn't have time to know really what goes on here in my community. So I'm still learning, but as soon as I learn about a program or something out there that could help somebody, then I reach out.
It's so great. When we joined the chamber, you were the person that we reached out to, and you said, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. I just started. And I love that story because really it's about what you find, the very perspective that you have when you very first pay attention to something.
Right.
And so we were kind of starting this journey together. Mm-hmm. And I love it because there's been so much that's happened, especially when we joined. Cut that out. Especially when we joined, there were only about 20 people that were coming to our monthly events, and now it's way over 100.
Yes, with the exception of like vacation months or school going back in, it's still right around 70 or 80. But yeah, on last year, I think right around September is when it just started well over 100. Attended. So yeah,
it was crazy because these are free services to our members. Mm-hmm. And so that's what's been so great is being involved has really gotten us connected as business leaders. And so the work that you guys are doing is amazing. And I wanted people to get to know who Lisa Stokes is because you have been really a leader in leading people and trying to understand, right, the resources that you can do to develop people. Mm-hmm. And so now what you get to do is help all of us connect. Mm-hmm. You connect us as ambassadors to new members, and you really try to make sure to identify who can help each other. And so you're the best one, I say, when you are new, go to Lisa because she'll tell you everything there is. So where does that come from? Like you have that natural gift.
Well, years of restaurant management, 30 years, and at one point I ran 7 locations, and I was a corporate international trainer. And with that, I also was relocated to a total different state, Boise, Idaho, where I knew nothing about the community, and I had to figure it out. So back in the day, we had pagers. We did not have cell phones. And I used to carry a tape recorder, and I would get an idea on how I could, it was with pizza, and how I could put pizza in there. How could I get in? And so I had to try outside the box thinking. Mm-hmm. So when I hear someone say, well, I just don't know how I'm going to do that, well, then I try to meet with them and give them ideas because, well, that's what I love to do. How can we get in there? What can we do to get your name in there or your business in there? Mm-hmm. And, you know, how can we do it in a fun way and stir things up? Mm-hmm. So that's something I love to do.
And that just resonates with everything that you do today because when people come to you, it's like, oh, you're going to tell a joke. You're going to make them feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. You're going to connect with them. Mm-hmm. And so people know, like, and trust you immediately. That's Lisa.
Yep, that's me.
That's you.
Uh-huh.
You have been, I would say tenacity is one of those words that I think about when I think about Lisa Stokes because I've seen you do a lot of transition over the last year. Mm-hmm. Part of that has been with your health. So if you'd like to, I'd love for you to share with people that don't know what you've been challenged with over your lifetime, but the last 6 to 10 years, what you've been doing to accomplish your big goals for your health.
So 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, which I was always told, if you're going to have cancer, that's the one to have. It's easy. Granted, it is. And then I had ran across someone who actually passed away from thyroid cancer, and then it became a reality. I went through it like a champ, like a trooper. Just, I can do it, no problem. But later that wears off after the fact, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? And so from having that, there's just been regular conditions. And I finally just stepped back and said, at what point do I stop saying, why have I been dealt with this hand? Instead, why have I been dealt with this? You know, and so how can I be a value to others, or how can I reach others and help others who have the same condition or the same problems and not feel so beat up by it? It's just part of who I am and my story, and I would not be anywhere near where I am today if I hadn't gone through it. So I'm leading a small group at church based on exactly that, and our illnesses don't make who we are. And it's what's in our hearts. We have an inner beauty, and it's not about being sick or in pain all the time or anything like that. That's not who we are. That's what's happening. And, you know, there's people who are disabled that still get from one place to another, even if they're in a wheelchair. So there's nothing different about me. So I'm thankful for what I have. I'm thankful that medicine is amazing and continues to be amazing. So,
well, you have a different perspective, and a lot of people talk about the environment that they were raised in to give them that perspective. And I know I've met your parents, and your dad is hysterical because of the way he sees the world. And I know you guys are really close. People that don't know you, you know, they may meet you at a new event, and they're going to remember because Lisa's the one that tells the joke. Lisa's the one that breaks the ice. Lisa's the one that says, hey, I can't see you up there. Because you're just a little sparkling glow of light that comes in that room. And so how do you, that perspective of having these struggles, getting through those, I'm sure comes a lot from the environment that you were raised in.
Yes.
Talk to us about your relationship with your dad, especially because I know you guys have very similar personalities.
We do. Yeah. So growing up with my dad, I was the tomboy and in sports and somebody he could teach to fish, which I love to fish, and not scared of the ooey gooeys or nothing like that. And my father, one point in particular, he taught me to swim. However, I didn't want to jump off diving boards. So I'm from Logansport. I'm a Logansport berry. And we had a ravine, and you were, back in the day, allowed to jump off the cliffs. And my father was showing me the view from the cliffs, and he just decides to push me off. I don't recommend this. Children, don't try this at home. But then he jumped in immediately after me, and he taught me to get over that fear. And I thought it was fun. I couldn't wait to do it again. Well, that's kind of how I look at life. Give or take. You can agree with me or not, but I'm a jumper. If I feel any fear, I just jump. The cleanup afterwards is so much easier than the fear and anxiety of stirring. If I have to speak in public, just do it, be done, and then clean it up. That's just me. So telling my jokes, my father tells jokes. We go back and forth all the time about jokes. My father is very close to God. He's almost 80 and drives a transit bus full time in Greencastle. And there's never a time you don't see him sitting in the bus reading his Bible while he's waiting on his passengers to shop at Walmart or whatever. And he's just a really very great example of a godly man.
It's a great example. And my goodness, what a great foundation to have and for you to to be able to hold on to that. It's awesome. They are fantastic people.
Thank you.
People need to meet them if they haven't.
Yes.
And get them involved.
And my mom's the firecracker.
Oh, your mom. Oh,
my mom
goodness.
is a firecracker.
Your mom. Okay, so I have to tell this story. We were at church one day, and Lisa's mom reaches over to her and slaps her on the leg and says, uncross your legs. But it's because some of these challenging health problems that she's trying to protect you.
Yes.
And so as a mother's love, right?
Yes.
But it's so sweet because they are precious and you're really lucky to have them.
Really, and she's shorter than I am. That's even better. Yes.
She's so cute.
Hi, this is Melanie Ake. When you visit everydayleaders.com, you'll find valuable resources to become a better leader in your life. Women's leadership programs, including Top Floor Women, our monthly networking events, corporate workshops, and strategic business coaching services. Discover classes and products to develop yourself, including our morning leadership devotionals. Don't forget, order one of my inspirational books, sign up for classes, or pick up some gear in the Leader Store. Listen to the Everyday Business Leaders podcast, apply to be a guest in our studio, or even sponsor your own commercial advertisement. Contact us today at everydayleaders.com.
So, to be able to adapt to the world, the things that, a lot of us say, hey, we've either lived in Greenwood our whole life. I went to Greenwood High School and grew up here since about third grade. You've lived in the community for about 6 years. Now, I love this because I always say if I came to Indianapolis for the first time, Southside, Franklin, wherever, and I had to look into a magazine and say, what are the things that I need to know about? You're that person. Like, you got to come into the community. And like you said, I want to know about new things, but making sure that you understand what's available to you to be resourced so that you can help other people.
Right.
I think that is such a huge benefit to having the perspective that you do, because there are things that you teach me every day that I'm like, when did that happen?
For some reason, at this age, I'm a sponge right now, and I cannot get enough of learning more and more things, whether it's we talk about having growth mindsets. Right now, that's all I think about is how can I improve in this area or that area. I reached out now doing this small group leader, which I've never done. I joined a organization that is a member because of certain things I am trying to learn, and that is Bridges of Alliance and the Circles program. And I can't wait to get started in that. It's coming up. So I just can't get enough of learning right now.
That's awesome. So when you think about, and I always ask this question to people, but especially you, we were talking about this before we started, the types of jobs that you love, that you're attracted to. And I think all of that comes into what you're doing now, the work that you're doing, because you can see like, oh yeah, that job's not so bad because I've had some doozies. Talk to us about what were some of your favorite jobs that you've had in your life that have brought you to these experiences?
Well, I like adventure. I like surprises. I like different stories. I don't want to go to work and have the same exact story every single day. But one of my most fun atmospheres and new things to learn was I sold pest control. And that wasn't the best part. The sales part wasn't the best part. The best part was I never knew what I was walking into. I never knew what I was getting myself into, and the same story never happened over again. It was always a different story. And I had to go through training to see what the technicians actually did because that's what I was selling. And then I also worked as the dispatcher. And so I needed to know where things were. So countless stories on the tricks the technicians would play on me. Even a mouse jumping out of the trap and running on top of my head and down my back, and countless stories. But I'll tell you what, it was so much fun. But the one story that sticks out the most was I came into work, and this was after all my training. I knew how to identify which type of roach was, how to treat each type of roach. And the German roach is the one that is the biggest concern always, and that is the female reproduces herself, so she carries a capsule. Well, a technician thought it would be great if they captured the roach that was pregnant and put it in a Ziploc bag in my desk. Well, I came in the next morning and I opened my drawer and it had hatched all over the inside of this Ziploc bag. So yes, but it was fun. It was just so much fun. And I know it's creepy, but it was neat to learn all those type of things and what exists in the real world. And I don't know. I loved it. It was just an adventure every day. I was like, oh no, here we go. What's going on?
It sounds like we need to put you in the field for all these different companies that are in the county.
Okay.
Go around from one to one.
I'll do it. I love it.
What do they do every day, right?
Yeah. They used to send me out doing mold treatments because I figured that out quick.
See, that is so awesome. Things that you know, though, right? You should be writing books about all this stuff. You have a wealth of knowledge.
I'll think about that. I'll put that on the to-do list.
So, as an Aspire kind of champion, I call you and David and Angela and, everybody on the team. So, you're the resources for everything that we do.
Right.
Things that are coming up this year, things that we don't know about to get involved in. I think one of the things that I love to tell people about is the calendar. Because the calendar on the website is accessible to everybody.
Yes.
And yet we forget, that's one more thing to do from our own business websites to get on there and put that information on the calendar where everybody can see it.
But it's so easy.
It is so easy.
It is so easy to do. Yes. So if you're having an event, an open house, a meet and greet, or you actually, as a member, can put it on the calendar, open to the public. When they click on it, there is a RSVP, and they can register, so you have an idea of how many people are going to attend.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
What a great resource, right? And there are so many things, as I've learned, that people just don't know, because maybe you've not used them before. You're hiring employees, and you need to know kind of what that direction is, but...
which on our website you also can post as well. And that can be anybody can post a job opening.
See, there you go. There's one more thing.
There's no rabbit holes. There's no advertisements. They click on, it's just the job, the company, and it tells them exactly where to apply.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing so much knowledge with us.
Sure.
Yeah, this is so great. I want to have you back. I really want to make this a segment for you guys to be able to come in and share as we're connecting business leaders from all over that are going to be sharing their passion and what their hopes are to do kind of over the next year in our community. Tell us a little bit about what's coming up, Lisa. So from the Chamber's perspective, what are the events that we can't miss?
Okay, well, that's open to the general public with a purchase ticket. We have WILD, which is Women in Leadership Development. And this is the first year for them, and there's a total of 3. We've already had 1. So on the 8th, this one is about having a growth mindset. And what does that look like for you and your company? And it's going to be held at Central 9, C9. And you can go on the calendar and click on that to get the details and register there. Also, we have the Aspire 2, and going hand in hand with that, this is open to, it's not just women, it is anybody with a purchase ticket or members who have those tickets in their packages. And it's called Aspire 2. Be strategic. How to strategic plan for your company, and what does that mean, and what does that look like for you? Those are the 2, and then members only event is Coffee Connections, and that happens every month. And September's is being held at the Greenwood Park Mall.
Oh, how fun!
As we're growing, we need bigger spaces.
We do need bigger spaces.
I'm excited about that one. I think that's neat.
Yeah, so. I think so too. And September, I think last year was one of our biggest turnouts.
It was.
So, yeah, really excited to see everybody. So if you haven't joined a Coffee Connection, get there.
Yes, but it is a members-only event. That's We have 2 a year, and two out of all of our events, there's only 2 that are members only. And that is the Coffee Connections. And this year we had 2 business unwinds. Mm-hmm. But that is so that that's kind of why they come to connect, and that's a networking event for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't joined the chamber, you have your connection now. We need to really think about how do we build better businesses. And so that's part of what we want to do in our program. If you're looking for a place to kind of share your success story, your business story, JP the Geek, we've partnered with him. We're helping him with his marketing strategies because he's growing as well. We're right here, really close to the Aspire Studios, right across from the concrete, mm-hmm. right across from the lake. But you're willing to come in, share your story. You can go to everydayleaders.com. And under the podcast, there is a studio interview link. So you can click on that and join us here in the studio and share your success, your events, things that are happening. And Lisa, I hope is going to be a regular guest in here so that we can find out what's happening, especially with this women in leadership development. You guys know I'm all over that. But pretty excited to have you and share your story.
Thank you.
Any last words that you want to share with us from just a business perspective of what you've seen happening over the last year?
Be versatile. Be open-minded to suggestions. Always look at our youth because they know the up and coming, and let them take a stab at it, because you'll be surprised what you get by letting people make mistakes, or it shows that you trust them. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to your chamber, member or not. That's what we're here for. We are a public resource for you. One other thing that we offer that I highly recommend if you're an employer to take part in is workforce development, and reach out to Jennifer in our office, and she will not steer you wrong in workforce development.
Awesome. We've got a ton of resources.
A ton.
Like Lisa said, just join us, right? Join us any way that you can. And I want to thank you for coming today. I know this is one of those things that people say, I've never done this before, but you did a great job. And I appreciate you sharing. And so please tune back in to the next episodes of Everyday Business Leaders. Here we are at JP the Geek Studios, and we will see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.